the Stram. Hey, all right, and we're live, pal. Once again, baby. So, hey, Andy here. And it certainly has been a while, hasn't it? And I'm just kind of looking at things. OBS had a new update, so I'm just kind of getting used to this newer design. I actually kind of like it. Kind of reminds me of like older designs, but you know, the buttons are buttony and things. It just, I don't know, I fuck with it. So, all right. So we'll get to setting up here, and then we'll begin the Strem proper. So we'll go ahead. See if I remember how to do this shit. Probably not. Oh well. So we'll go ahead and post things as a little sound check portion of the Strem. Hey. Announcements, everybody. Jesus. Oh. You know what would help? If I put a fucking link in here. Jesus Christ. Okay. There we go. Got it. Got it. Damn, is that what my cover photo looks like when it's all like blown up? Fuck. I gotta get that changed. Okay. Okay. Now there's that, I suppose. Twin lamps, yo! Konnichiwa, minasan. What's going on? Well, I guess it would be Ohio gozaimasu right now, but that's okay. I ain't gonna judge you. Maybe a little bit. Ah, just kidding. Alright, so, yeah, there's, excuse me. Certainly a lot to talk about, isn't there? It's been a while since I've really posted anything, or certainly been a while since I've gone live. And a lot has happened since I graduated back in August of this year. Coming up on November right now. So it's been a while. Sorry for the pause in things. And you know, for those of you who are, you know, catching this in like the post stream or whatever, or just looking for something a bit more concise, organized, I will be putting out a YouTube video going more into detail with things. But right now it's just kind of off the top of the dome piece. Yo, Reds. What's up, brother? But yeah, I am going to be putting out a YouTube video later, kind of going over things in more of an organized manner. Right now it's just kind of off the top of the dome. But before I get into all of that, got myself a little something. Got myself this little Monster Energy mini shot thing from the vending machine today. I had some coffee this morning and went to do a tour. I got myself a little sandwich and some coffee, and then brewed myself a little bit of my French press stuff. But it was just enough to make me functional. It wasn't quite enough to really make me 100% awake. Like right now I'm kind of at like 70, 75%. Like I'm functional, but it's not like all the way. And I didn't want like a full can of Monster because my heart would fucking explode. And I didn't really want coffee either because I didn't want to go run off to go take a shit. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's like a little mini one. And I found one, vending machine. So I've never had this before. So I'll give it the sniff test. Yeah, basically just smells exactly like original Monster. So no difference there. Mostly tastes like it too. Maybe just slightly stronger. You know, it could just be subconscious thinking because it does say Monster Extra Strength. I'll let you know about the caffeination later though, but for now it just basically tastes like a mini Monster. But yeah, man, Dotour is pretty good. Their coffee is really good too. They're like one of the few stores that are open, aside from convenies. And every once in a while and especially today because today's my day off. Um, I don't like to go to the convenience on my day off, because I always go to them during my work days because it's just convenient. You just pick up a few sandwiches, pick up a bento or something on the way back home or whatever, and well, there you go. Pick up some other drinks as well. But that's going to be for later today. So, I guess before we get into all the nitty-gritty of things, what I do want to talk about is some positive stuff, because it's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows, unfortunately. But we are going to start off on a positive note here, and the good news is I finally got my new visa approved. I don't actually physically have it right now, but I did get the card in the mail the other day, and I'm going to be picking it up later on today because it's my day off. So I'm very excited about that. So basically, for those who don't know, it's a designated activities visa. It's going to allow for me to continue to stay here in Japan, look for full-time employment. The visa is going to be for, yo, what up, HT? How's it going? Yeah, definitely big news. So it's going to allow me to continue to stay here in Japan, look for full-time employment, which is not going to take too long, hopefully. And it's good for 6 months, but I can extend it for an additional 6 months. Doing pretty good, brother. How about yourself? So I can stay in the country for up to a year. So very excited about that. And oh, shit, I completely forgot. I thought it was streaming music as well. It's been a while, guys. I forgot about these things. So give me a sec here. We'll get some good old Zen Buster music. Yeah, we'll just put on something nice and light in the background. Just hopefully it's not too much. Actually, hold on. Just to make sure it doesn't bleed through. Goodness. Forgot about that shit. Choto them mates. Drinking them choco lattes. And we'll switch. I gotta charge my speakers anyway, so it's okay. Come on. Okay, cool. Alright, cool. So, we got that going. Turn that off. Alright. That's just so the sound doesn't bleed through. So, hopefully it's not too loud. Let me, desktop audio's not even on. Okay, give me a sec here. So that's going to be through the headphones. Okay, alright. Got some desktop audio coming in. Hopefully it's not too loud. I think it's at a pretty good volume. Just eyeballing it. But if it's too loud or whatever, just let me know. We're listening to some good old Zen Buster music. As a playlist. Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. It's the music channel of one of my YouTube mentors, I guess you'd call him, Roberto Blake. It's called Zen Buster Music. So I usually like to listen to this when I'm streaming. Just, it's nice little background music or whatever. So it's definitely some good stuff, for sure. So now we got that set up. Let's go ahead and talk about stuff. So, like I said, I have the new visa. Well, I don't physically have it yet. I have to go pick it up today, but it's been approved. So I just got to go pick it up later on today. And I also have an interview for a job today as well. So that's going to be in about an hour and some change. So it's on Skype, so I don't have to worry about getting on the train or none of that stuff. And obviously I'll change my shirt as well. But I figured I'd just come on, stream for a little bit, just talk with you guys about stuff. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I really do. And just talk about, well, what's the name of the visa which I got? It's a designated activities visa. That's kind of like the catch-all term for it. But it's basically, like, colloquially known as a job hunting visa. So it's given to people who have graduated from college, university within Japan. Get the old suit out, the tin of fruit. Nice. Um, but basically, it's a visa for people who have recently graduated from college or university within Japan and are looking for employment. So it's good for 6 months. I can get it extended for an additional 6 months, so it's good for up to a year. And just allow me to stay in the country, still work a part-time job while I'm looking for full-time employment. And once I get full-time employment, then I can apply for a proper work visa. So, is it a job I really want? With this one, it's kind of hard to say because it is a teaching position. I've never taught before, which is kind of a blessing and a curse. So I can't really say for certain. But I guess it would all depend on where I'm teaching. That's the main thing. So if it's in a good location, then it's gonna be okay. Also, all the best for the interview. Appreciate it. What kind of company giving interviews for? So I don't want to give like exact names for privacy reasons, but I will say that it's just kind of a combination of different companies. Obviously, still looking for creative work, which there are plenty of jobs out here for creative work. Not as many as teaching, obviously. Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it. Obviously, not as many as there are for teaching, of course. But, there are definitely some companies looking for people who have my skill set, to say the least. And I've interviewed for a couple of them. So they do Skype ALT interviews. Yeah. Yeah, I've actually applied for them, but I haven't heard back, so, Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to get into specific names, but, yeah. I'm in the blibbity bloops. Yo, non-demo guy. What's up, my non-demo guy? Been a while, dude. Dang, everybody's here today. I feel so loved. But yeah, so we got that going. So we got an interview today. I'm going to go pick up my new visa today as well after the interview. Since it's just a pickup, hopefully it's not going to last too long at immigration. Famous last words. But I have today off, so it's whatever. Yeah, that happened to me a lot of times, actually, being overqualified. Or just having experience in different fields. I think that's like the main thing that's kind of hurt me with teaching gigs, is that I've never really taught before, and I have all this experience in like a completely different field. So they're like, why the hell do you want to teach? Like, you have all this job experience in the other thing. Why are you giving all that up to go teach? And I'm like, I can't really say like, hey, I kind of need a visa, and all these other companies want me to speak like native level Japanese, and I ain't there. So, just, is what it is. But jobs and skill set like editing. I just look around in the job boards. So, I go to like the common ones like Indeed, both the Japan version and the American version. I go to DaiJob, Gaijin Pots. A couple other boards I use sometimes but haven't really gotten anything from was like Career Cross, Lancers. That's a new one that I just started up. That's more of a freelancing thing, so that's more just for side gigs. Not really anything visa sponsored, but good way to pay the bills if you know what you're doing. So we got those. I already mentioned Gaijin Pots. Hell, even Craigslist has a few every once in a while. And I also use LinkedIn a lot as well. I've gotten some pretty substantial play with LinkedIn. But anyway, so that's kind of the news as far as that goes. But as far as why I haven't really been posting, title of the stream, is because I've just been busy working my little Arbeito job, and it's been taking up, even though it's just a part-time job, it's been taking up a lot of my time, just especially from like a creative standpoint. So I don't want to give out the name of the company or their scope of business, I guess, just for, again, privacy reasons, and you never know who's watching, right? So but I will say that it does utilize my skill set as a yeah, exactly, but it does utilize my skill set as video editor, photographer, videographer, all that stuff. and stuff like that. So it is good in that regard. So basically what had happened, I'll just go through the timeline of things here, is I graduated August 6th of this year and was busy looking for jobs pretty much all that last semester. I had a pretty light schedule that semester, so I didn't really have to do a whole lot homework-wise and stuff, and I just did everything from home anyway because, I talked to my teachers and I'm like, I'm graduating this semester, so like, fuck it, I didn't really care, and they didn't really care because like my GPA was high enough, so it was like whatever. So I just did everything from home, so it gave me more time to hunt for jobs and things. And nothing was really coming up substantially, because that's kind of the bad thing about graduating in the summertime, because like nobody's hiring. They always hire in the springtime. You might get some in the fall, but a little startup company like NHK, right? Yeah, totally. Just a little pull up by your bootstraps kind of company. It's not NHK. I wish though, but you never know. But yeah, so I graduated, put up the whole video and stuff, and about 3 weeks after I graduated, I got in contact with somebody on LinkedIn for this position, and we got to talking, and we did the interview, and I should have known something was up at the interview, because the boss, they're nice, but they're very intense. So they're just asking me a bunch of questions and just kind of like, just drilling it, and just stuff like that. And I was just like, okay. I wasn't quite prepared for that level of questioning and stuff like that, and just the intensity and the urgency of things. I was just like, okay, calm down. It's not life or death here. But they liked me enough. They brought me in for a second interview, which was technically just orientation. It wasn't even an interview. It was just, they brought me into the office and were like, hey, really like the answers that you gave, and, we want to offer you a job here. And I was like, all right, cool, And it's just a little baito gig. I did tell them that I was interested in full-time because, I'd recently graduated and I'm looking for visa sponsorship. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's great. We're actually thinking of, even though the job offer was part-time, they did want somebody who was willing to go full-time at some point. And I just said, well, because my visa situation, I can't go full-time right now. But once everything's kosher and I get the new visa, then I can go full-time. So they're just kind of bringing me in, I guess, on like a trial basis, just kind of see how I fared. And things are going pretty well. It was just like a lot of stuff happened all at once. They took me to some places to do filming. Went out to Kyoto and Osaka. I posted a couple cryptic stuff on Instagram because I felt a little weird because it was technically a business trip, but it's like, should I post about it? Should I not? I don't know. We'll just post some cryptic shit and see what happens. So I posted a couple things on Instagram. People are kind of concerned about me. It's like, what is he doing? But yeah, I just went out to Kyoto, Osaka for the first time, and we basically crammed like 2 weeks worth of stuff into like 4 days, and it was during this massive heat wave in the Kansai area. So it was like those 90s in the freedom units. That's like what, high 30s, low 40s in the centigrade. I don't know math, but it was hot enough, and I'm just busy walking around, and everybody's just having a good old time, just gallivanting around Osaka and Kyoto and just having fun, and I'm lugging all this equipment around and sweating my ass off and having to stop every few blocks just to grab something to drink because the sweat is just pouring off of me. And the first day I tried doing, kind of a business casual, just wore like a little button-up shirt and some slacks, and I'm like, I told my boss I cannot be out in this weather with with that sort of stuff on. Nope, not happening, brother. So thankfully I packed some more summer wear. So I got the heat, not the heat tech, but like the cool tech stuff with shorts and everything. So I just wore that the rest of my time there, and they were cool with it. So yeah. Then we went out, did some stuff, got some omiyage for the people back at the Tokyo office, and you know, sat down, was working on stuff, went out to some other places to film things, take pictures, and it seemed like everything was going fine, but there was kind of this weird sort of, not really undercurrent, but yeah, I just can't do hot places for too long. I mean, as from an aesthetic point of view, like it looked amazing, you know, like it was clear skies, and just, you know, made the videos and the pictures look amazing. Yo, what up, Chris? But just from a walking around and doing like a lot of walking, because in Kyoto especially, you do a lot of walking. It was, it's all good. It's all, it's okay. It's not life or death here, bro. But I do appreciate it. So, yeah. So we did some of that, but there's kind of been this this sort of thing that I couldn't quite explain. You know, just this sort of uneasiness, and just this kind of sense of anxiety and dread. And at first I thought it was like, well, it's, you know, it's a new job, my first postgraduate job. It's doing what I like. The boss I have is nice, but they're very intense, and they're just like constantly like drilling me about stuff and hitting certain metrics and things like that. And basically, I'm in charge of also like their PR and stuff as well. So I'm in charge of like their social media and, you know, putting stuff up on their website and everything like that, which I had to dust off my crusty ass WordPress skills and update like a gajillion plugins that haven't been updated since 2016 and shit, and just kind of, what is this shit? Get that up to snuff, and just posting regularly when I can. And it's just like doing a bunch of stuff, and I'm pretty much like the only one that actually does it. Although I think recently they're hiring some part-time people to begin to take that over, but yeah. I'll believe it when I see it for sure. You know, I started out as just doing like a whole bunch of different things, trying to get everything up to snuff, and also just to prove myself as well, because like I said, it's my first postgraduate job. It's in the field that I like, doing the work that I love, and, you know, it's not teaching. I don't have to use Japanese or anything like that. So I was really excited for it, and I really wanted to really show my boss what I could do. And, you know, we went out to this meal, this like company meal after work on a Friday, and, you know, we're just kind of chatting and stuff, and the boss was saying, you know, kind of going down the line of people, and like, oh, this person works so freaking hard, you know, they're just out there killing it and doing all this, that, and the other. And then the boss gets to me, and it's like, well, you know, we really like you here, we like what you're about, you know, just kind of waiting to, yo, Nanimo guy, oh my gosh, arigato gozai, thank you. I really appreciate it, brother. Holy crap. Yeah, get yourself a charger and go get it, man. I thank you so much. That really made my day. Oh my gosh. Cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you. I wish I had like the emotes and things, but it's just like kind of a vanilla OBS setup I got right now. But holy cow, I really appreciate it. But yeah, like I was saying, so the boss was going down the line of things, and, you know, they were like, you know, I really like what you've been doing, but, you know, we're just kind of waiting for you to like prove yourself. You know, just kind of waiting for that. So it's kind of this sort of like, you know, and keep in mind, this is after the Osaka-Kyoto trip, and wandering around, filming them, doing stuff, and filming all these other different locations and stuff like that, and just kind of acting like on the fly with a lot of stuff. And boss is standing there saying, well, we're just kind of waiting for you to like prove yourself. And that was just kind of like a slight little, well, you know, I've only been here for, I think it was about a month at that time. So I'm like, okay, fine. But it didn't quite sit right with me. It's like that my boss would out me in front of like everybody in the company like that. Yeah, that is a bit sus. But I just kind of brushed it off. It was like, it's whatever, whatever. And then, just kind of, it's not really like a big, it wasn't like a big thing that sort of happened. It was just kind of a bunch of little things that that kind of started building up. And so, is my boss Japanese? I don't want to get into who my boss is, but I guess I will say that they're not Japanese. Yeah, and I don't want to play guess with who my boss is, but I will say that they're not Japanese. But they want to operate the company like it is a Japanese company, even though it's not. So, I don't know. So they kind of have like the sort of like gaman style of like Japanese companies have, where if technically you're supposed to be at work by 9, but they want you clocked in by 9:15, and it gets to be about quitting time for me at 6 o'clock, and everybody else is still like plunking away at stuff. Like, I'm the first one to leave. I didn't really think anything of it, but they're still like plunking away, just sweating over keyboards, doing stuff. And it's just one of those things, I kind of got to thinking, just like, if I were to go full time with this, like, can I really see myself full time here? And the longer I was staying there, the more I realized maybe not, because I just kind of noticed my anxiety levels were just going up every day, and even before I got to the office, I'd have to go through that hellish commute, and they wouldn't, they don't offer like flex time or anything like that. They don't do like work from home, even on like a hybrid sort of a setup. So it was just very much like my boss is like my way or the highway sort of deal. Everybody can show up to the office at this time. Why can't you? And it's just like, yeah, exactly like what Tech Covered is saying. Not the first thing, the second thing. If they paid that much a month, then that's another thing too. And because I'm working part time, I'm making like dick plus shit, basically. Not just in the amount of hours, but just from the wage as well. So, which I did sign the contract, so I did agree to it. So it's on me, understandable. But I kind of did that because they kind of made it sound like, well, this is just like the trial. Oh shit, there's not. Whoops. Let me. It should still be. Oh shit, did it? Oh, okay. Hold on. What the fuck happened here? Did my headphones like die? Come on. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, thanks for letting me know there, HT. I really appreciate that. That's what happens, people say, you're so ADD on stream, Andy, come on. But if I don't pay attention to stuff and I'm just focusing on telling the thing, then stuff happens. So I do appreciate it. Thanks for looking out. Okay, so conditions could be better, commuting every day and working super hot weather and doing your job. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's just, I could tell that they like me, but they are just kind of waiting for me to prove myself and like my commitment. And another thing that happened was after I think it was like the first month and a half or so, they did offer me full-time employment, and it was more of this yeah, exactly, it was more of this sort of like, again, it was like the first interview where the boss was very direct and just very like intense and expecting like this very detailed answer like right away. Yeah, cheers, Bruffy. And it was kind of like this sort of like shotgun sort of approach. It's like, you gonna sign up? I'm like, yo, I was not expecting this sort of thing. And, you know, the boss was kind of going on. It was more of this sort of, you know, like, we're expecting somebody who's really dedicated and motivated to work for this company and to just, you know, really put their all into it. We're not just looking for a 9-to-5 ham and egger. You know, I'm just improvising. They didn't actually say that. But, you know, we're not just looking for somebody who's here for a visa and a paycheck and just clocking in and clocking out. We want somebody to really help build this company up and make it great and really, you know, put their stake into it. Because you're not just an employee, you're a founder and all this other sort of stuff. Which, I mean, sounds good on the surface, but I don't know. Just kind of looking back on it, kind of gives me, well, I don't want to say cultish vibes, but that's kind of what it was. It's not a cult, it's a family. Join us. Drink the Kool-Aid. Anyway, so it's just that sort of like rah-rah, sort of motivational speech. And they didn't even give me like well, not a dollar amount, but like a yen amount for what I would be making if I were to go full time. And you know, I was like, it just like my anxiety was like redlining at that point, because, you know, like, again, it was kind of like a shotgun sort of thing. It's like, give us our answer now. And I'm like, you know, so I gave like the best like political answer that I could. It's like, well, I really appreciate this offer, and it is a very serious commitment that you guys are presenting to me. And so I don't want to just accept this half-heartedly, be like, yeah, let's do it. You know, so I want to take some time to really consider this situation and, you know, give you a proper commitment to this, because it's a very big commitment. You know, and it was just kind of bigging them up like that, right? So after that, they just kind of brushed it off, and thankfully they haven't brought it up since. But it has been driving my anxiety pretty darn crazy, you know? And I've just been doing a lot of thinking lately. It's just like, is this whole thing just like me? Is this just me, like, not sucking it up and just gummoning through it? And just, you know, it's your first job. It's postgraduate. You shouldn't be making a whole shit ton of money, and you should be suffering and all this other stuff. And it's not like the work itself is bad. I actually really enjoy the work. Like, my boss was out last week doing things, so they were out of the office, and it was just me and a coworker, and, you know, she was really quiet. So I was pretty much just there, just editing and putting stuff together for the socials and the website and stuff, and it was actually really enjoyable. And, you know, even this week, you know, I went out. I didn't go straight to the office. I just went to location to film and take pictures, and that was fun too. I mean, I wasn't quite 100% because I didn't have one of these bad boys, but you know, even still, you know, I was getting kind of lost in the Tokyo area, but it was still a lot of fun to be doing that line of work. But at the same time, you know, just the pressure and everything from the higher ups and the expectations, and feeling like I'm working my ass off, but I'm not really delivering on those expectations. It's actually really affecting me, not just mentally, but physically as well. You know, like before it was just like, you know, I get like the late night jitters, and it's been really hard for me to sleep lately. I have been, even though I'm drinking this right now, I have actually been cutting down on caffeine. I switched from drinking energy drinks to just coffee, but now it's more of like a hybrid, because, you know, I feel like I'm kind of capped energy-wise. But regardless, and just the anxiety's going through the roof. It's affected me to the point to where, you know, I don't want to get too into detail because it's a little TMI, but, you know, suffice it to say that, you know, I, you know, physically, the digestive system hasn't been in the best of health. You know, my sleep has pretty much degraded. You know, it's hard for me to sleep. You know, I'm just getting up. I'm just getting up at all times of the night, and you know, I don't want to say this, but, you know, I have been drinking a fair bit just to kind of help things, and it's just you know, it's just been very anxiety inducing, and it's been affecting not just my mental health, but my physical health as well. And it's kind of gotten to the point. I think the part where I knew like for sure I got to do something was when I took like 2 sick days. Well, it was like 1 sick day for like 2 consecutive weeks, just because not only mentally but physically I just could not be at work because of internal shits going on, literally and figuratively. But in any event, yeah, just the thought, the dread of coming into work was too much. And I took some time to really think about it because I didn't want this, because I've only been working there for let's see, either today or tomorrow, I forget the exact date. It's going to be my 2-month anniversary at that job. And so I was going to kind of do like what everybody else does and just give it the old 6-month trial at least, bare minimum. Most people say up to a year because you don't want to be viewed as a job hopper, right? But, I just barely got it through this 2 months. And, it's just getting too much, And, the cons are definitely outweighing the pros in this situation. And, that's one of the things is, for me, like, no place is perfect, no job is perfect, nobody is perfect. Yeah, exactly. And yo, what up, ET? Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother putting them on my resume, to be honest. If anything, I'll just say I've been freelancing, so, which is not untrue. I have been freelancing, but yeah, exactly, HT, 100%, and it just. So, yo, what up, David? So I'm not going to give out exactly where I've been working for just confidentiality, privacy reasons. But it's not a teaching job, and it is for a non-Japanese company, even though they like to pretend they are, just in how they operate. But yeah, so with all that being said, as far as, just the dread and everything with the position, I took some time to kind of sit back and kind of think about, like, okay, for one, why is this job driving me up a fucking wall? Am I off base in thinking that, this job is right for me, wrong for me? Is it just like, I'm trying to like figure out, is it just like new job jitters? Is it something else outside of work? Just trying to narrow things down. And I realized, I'm just not happy with this job. I know it's kind of foofy and hippy-dippy to say, because work is work, and like I was saying before, there's going to be pros and cons to everything, Yeah, exactly, so, and I never really, like, call in sick for anything, even if I'm, like, dying, I always try to gut through it at work, but it just got to a point where I was like, I can't do this, so that was kind of my wake-up call to be like, okay, we got to change some things. So I've been looking around, been applying to a bunch of different jobs, including ALT jobs, some Eikaiwa jobs as well. Been applying to just kind of some odds and ends sort of places, just kind of seeing what's out there. I've also applied to, do more like media production type stuff. Not quite in the field that I'm in now, but still a bit more on like the commercial side of things, doing, like product videography, things like that, I guess you could call it. Had an interview that went really well, actually. Really liked who I interviewed with. It was just like complete night and day from the from the other place. So basically, they wanted me to submit a just like some quick little clips about like product videography, things like that. So I just looked up a couple like quick ones on Instagram just to kind of figure out how to do it, because I've never really done product videography before, and got some. Well, you can't see it because the door's shut, but I got some little cheap ass things off Amazon just to kind of help me with that. Just basically like a bar light and a little rotatey thing. So I just did like a little video of one of my camera lenses and my headphones. So just to kind of just show off some stuff. So I got to put that together probably this weekend. Is when I got some time. And thankfully next week is going to be pretty light because there's holidays that time as well. So I'm going to be taking a pretty substantial amount of time off during that time as well. But yeah, so I've just been doing a lot of interviews. I got one in about an hour. It's on Skype, so I don't have to get, ready for the commute or anything like that. Obviously, I'll change the shirt, of course. But yeah, it's just a quick little walk over there, and that's about it, really. But yeah, so that's basically what I've been doing. Just going out there looking for different jobs, things like that. And exactly like what Eric was saying, it just depends on the school and the area, the students, stuff like that. And that's another thing that I really started thinking about, because as you guys know, I've been wanting to move out of Kawasaki for a while, and just the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to kind of move further away from Tokyo. I don't think I'm brave enough to go to like Kansai or like Fukuoka or something like that, and I certainly don't have the money for it right now. But what I can do is move down to the Shonan area, which I've been talking about for actually like years now. I went back and listened to one of my old live streams where I was saying, yeah guys, I'm moving to Shonan, because I had it all set up, and I had some of the Biden bucks. And that's basically what I was going to do. I was going to use the money that I got from that and, my GI Bill and everything to move down there, because it's actually cheaper. And, we were doing schooling from home anyway, so I didn't have to worry about commuting or anything. Like aside from school or work, I didn't really need to physically be anywhere. So I was like, fuck it, we'll just do that. But, I was talking with the real estate agent. And it was mostly something with like the guarantor company was having some issues because I was on student visa and they were a little hesitant, understandably so. But yeah, so that one didn't quite pan out. But now that I'm going to be having a longer term visa, with a work visa and stuff like that, I think they'll be a little more agreeable. And plus, I'm going to like a different, not real estate agent, but just like a different place. Anyway, like apartments and stuff like that. So, am I still the editor for Eric Surf 6? You betcha I am. In fact, I have a new edit that I'm going to be working on later today as well. I don't know when the video is going to come out, so I think it's okay for me to say that it's going to be a new Japan versus USA series. I really missed him doing that series. So, definitely be on the lookout for it. It's probably not going to come out for another week or so, because I've been working on his videos as well, just working on a shit ton of stuff, because as you guys know, or may or may not know, Japanese companies pay only once a month, and it's for like the previous month. So I haven't even gotten like a full honest to goodness paycheck yet, because like I started at like the tail end of August, so I've only gotten paid for August, which is only like what, $100 or so. And I had all these different expenses and stuff from travel, things like that. Yeah, so so it's gone down even more. So it's great when I was getting paid in dollars, not so much when I'm getting paid in yen, basically. So yeah, I've just been living very very tightly, but I should be getting paid, either today or tomorrow, sometime this week. So, so I've basically just been, yeah, exactly. That's what it is. So they did cover room and board. Well, not board, but they covered my flight over, flight back. They covered my accommodations and things. And they covered for some travel. I had to actually I had to talk with them about that yesterday, because there was like some things that they wouldn't cover, and they wanted me to, like, you know, we were kind of negotiating that. So yeah, exactly. It's brutal. So it pays to have a savings, for sure, for sure. Which is why I'm getting the jump on finding a job before I quit, rather than just saying "fuck you, I quit," because that's just unprofessional. So yeah, exactly. And that was another reason I wanted to just leave, because I'm like, I don't want to be at their mercy. You know, I just, for one, I don't see myself working there full time, and for two, I don't want my visa to be dependent on them. So just the more I thought about it, I'm just like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore. You know, I just, nah, I'm done. Yeah. So, at least with like the English teaching visa, if you do decide not to go through, if you do decide to, like, if they fire you, although I don't think you have to do something pretty heinous to get fired. But, it's contract based, basically. So, you're set to work X amount of months or whatever, year, usually for some. So you're pretty much guaranteed, unless you do something heinous, to be working that amount of time. And if you decide, at that point, if you're doing contract work, like, you kind of know if you want to continue working for them or not. But you can also just kind of play the field and just be, looking around at other positions as well, just to kind of see what else is out there. And it's always good to know your worth as well. That's something else I really want to make a video on that on my other channel as well, because it is valuable to know your worth. It doesn't matter if you're a freelancer or whatever, just whatever field you're in, it's always good to know what you're worth, and to see what other people will pay for you and your services. So always check that out, because the market's constantly changing, and even if you're cool with where you're working and cool with your boss or whatever, it's always good to know what you're worth, so that way you when it's time to negotiate a new salary, you kind of are armed with a bit more knowledge. And if they're not willing to pay you that much, is it worth it to stay, or is it not? Just something to keep in mind. So, what's the editing machine I'm using? Oh, I'm just using my laptop. It's an Asus ROG Zephyrus M15. The M14 is probably the more well-known one, because it's like one of the fastest machines that's, kind of a smaller laptop. This one's a bit more standard sized, and it also has another slot for another M.2 drive, whereas the 14 only has the one slot. So I got this off of Amazon I think about a year or two ago. M60 is faster. Yeah, I'd imagine so. But I just got this off of Amazon because I could pay for it in payments rather than just a lump sum. So that's the reason I got this one. The year, it's 2020, I believe. Specs, it's got a AMD. I forget, Jesus. Anyway, you can look it up. It's got like an AMD Ryzen 7 processor, and 16 gigs of RAM. Comes with an M.2 drive, but I got another one. So it just makes editing and stuff like that way easier, because you have like a storage drive and then you have like your OS drive. It's just way easier, especially for rendering. So I definitely recommend that. And I think once financials are a bit more steady, obviously not anytime super soon, but one thing I do want to get for this is another M.2 drive, probably just the same exact one I got, and we'll just port the OS and everything like that over to that, because I am noticing, especially with rendering, it's a bit of a bottleneck in some areas. It's not too terrible, it's definitely very manageable and stuff, but I think that would probably be my next upgrade, pretty much the only upgrade I can do with this laptop, really. But it's perfectly serviceable, works great for rendering, editing 4K footage, no issues. I've also been, and this is another tutorial, the graphics card is, I think it's a 1660. Like I said, the laptop's a few years old, so it's not like super duper top of the line specs. And you can get like the newer version that's way better, of course. But for what it is, it serves me quite well. And if I were to get like a new computer, not anytime soon, but if I would, then I'd probably invest more in a desktop than a laptop. You know, I do miss the old chill box. You know, it was just really nice to have that horsepower and not have to worry about cooling and things like that. You know, I could just let it rip, baby. But yeah, this is a pretty good laptop. You know, if you want to get the exact one that I have, you could probably get it a lot cheaper than I got it for. When I got it new, it was like maybe like 12 or 1500 altogether, I think. But it was broken up into like the little 5 payment systems, so you know, it was only a couple $100 every month, and it was just automatically deducted, and I was on the GI Bill, so it was like, why not, right? You know, so yeah, fun times. Yeah, getting back to, I'm sorry, I'm a little behind on the chat here. Yeah, exactly. Any modern gaming laptop will work just fine for editing, and if you're working with like 1080p footage, like, yeah, as long as you get like a fairly decent one. I think the only point of contention I would say with editing is you have to have at least 16 gigs of RAM. You can work with less, but it's just going to be so frustrating, you know. So I think I'm okay with dying on that 16 gig bare minimum. I'm okay with dying on that hill. and a discrete GPU for sure, especially with how a lot of non-linear editors operate nowadays, because especially Premiere, now it actually uses the GPU instead of for like certain things like it used to back in the day. Now it actually uses the damn thing, so it's like, all right, cool. But yeah, 16 gig bare minimum. It will jack up the laptop price a fair bit, but I think you'll be a lot happier with it. Also, getting good SSD drive is very important. M.2 ideally, because it's faster, but it all depends on what your laptop's working with. I've worked with SSD drives perfectly fine. Yo, little boats, what's up, baby? It's ALBO. But yeah, that'll work just fine. So you don't need like a super, you know, ripping ass laptop. But yep, still in Japan. But you do need at least something. So I guess like budget wise, bare minimum, I'd probably set aside like $1,500. I think that's pretty fair. You know, you might be able to find something for cheaper, of course, but I would aim for $1,500 just so you have that extra headroom, you know, in case you really want to get something, you know, or if you want to get peripherals or whatever, you know, at least you have that little bit of extra headroom. Any suggestions on learning video editing from? Well, I know a guy who teaches stuff about video editing. Which I guess I should make that an announcement as well. So I know some people are going to roll their eyes and be like, oh shit, here we go again. But I have actually revived the Edit with Andy channel. Kind of quietly moved all my stuff over to it. I kind of got a little bit of buyer's remorse from having it on this channel, and it, you know, it made sense at the time because I was thinking, well, I could, talk about Japan stuff and then talk about editing as well. It's fine, but it just didn't, it didn't work. So I decided to quietly move all my stuff back over to the Edit with Andy channel. I think playlists and stuff are still up on here as well. Because you are a pro. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, if I got paid to move videos, fuck, man. Y'all wouldn't be seeing my ass. But, yeah, it is what it is. But I guess, the most important YouTube thing that I've been working on is shorts. And I know some people are going to be like, well, you don't get paid much for shorts, and you really don't. But I've been hearing a lot of chatter about how the monetization system for shorts is going to be changing next year. So I kind of want to get ahead on that and kind of start learning what shorts are good and what to look for, what to do, what shorts work, what shorts don't. So right now it's just kind of a learning process for me, and figuring out, should I even put in a thumbnail, because I noticed most shorts don't have a thumbnail. Just kind of is what it is. So I'm just working with that. And I gotta say, yeah, I know, right? Old man E.T., I remember when YouTube was a dating website, and we could only upload up to 480p on your Sanyo Zacti or your flip cams. We'd punch our friends in the junk and upload it to YouTube, and we'd be thankful, god damn it. That's all good. But yeah, I've been really, on my end anyway, I've been really pleased with the results from shorts. They're really inconsistent right now, but the ones that have popped off have been pretty surprising, and it's yeah, I could see myself doing more of the shorts content, especially, during times where, if I'm busy with work or there's not really a whole lot going on and the weather's kind of shitty and I can't really go outside and film videos for whatever reason. I think it's also a good way to kind of bring some attention to older content as well, and I think with the compilations, I'll be giving those a rest for a while. I did say I was going to do the Navy stuff, and I might do that eventually, but I think we'll give those a rest for the time being, and then we'll do the 2022 vlogs either at the end of this year, very early next year, and we'll still make the vlog stuff a yearly thing, but yeah, I think we'll give compilations a rest for the time being, and then just work more on shorts, because I see more of a little more gas in that tank, to say the least. But as far as payout and stuff, it's been kind of shit recently, but like I said, they're going to be changing that. There's videos and stuff talking more about it. I'm just learning about it myself, so I just figure it's just kind of something different to do. If I can't make the longer form videos, it's just a nice little in addition to sort of thing. And I also do want to make some more dedicated shorts content as well, just kind of stuff that doesn't really need to have a long form thing, like the whole Mr. Peachy thing. I know some people are like, oh Jesus, that fucking guy, and then some people are like, fucking yeah, Mr. Peachy, holy shit, bro. So it's a very divisive sort of thing. But for character work like that, I think that could work very well in shorts format, and it is something that I am considering. Yeah, I have done some TikTok before as well, so, and that's another thing. Once we get the shorts done, then we can just upload those to TikTok. Most people do the reverse, so you get the little TikTok symbol running around, but I just think that looks kind of tacky, even if it is your own shit. Just upload that, man. Fuck, you don't have to grab it straight from TikTok and do it that way, so yeah, man, that's kind of the plan as far as content goes. Just trying to get stuff in the IRLs taken care of, trying to move to a different location. Yeah, exactly. Like with YouTube, like TikTok is good for getting attention, but YouTube is good for monetization. You know, and I think with YouTube focusing more on shorts, you know, we're going to be seeing a lot more people natively blow up on YouTube Shorts versus just re-uploading their TikTok shit on there. So it's very Wild West right now, which is good because you know it's not going to be the case for much longer, especially once the monetization rolls out completely. You know, so like I said, I think it's good to get ahead on that. And also, it's just a nice way for me to express things that don't necessarily need a full, you know, 4 to 5 minute video to talk about that. You know, like the Mr. Peachy stuff. I think the Mr. Peachy stuff would do really well in shorts format. And if you don't like the Mr. Peachy stuff, you know, I got the other stuff as well, so it's fine. You know. But yeah, as far as the IRL stuff goes, you know, let me do a quick. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, just checking on on the musics. So the plan is to well, number one, find a new job. that's the main thing. Number two is to move to a new location. So, like I said, I've been wanting to move down to the Shavon area for quite some time, and I think now that I'm all graduated and I'm able to get a work visa, and they do have some job positions down there. It's not a lot, but they do have some job positions down there, and I think that's something that I want to move forward with. Is just moving to, you know, a nice chill area. I already have, you know, some friends down that way, and yeah, it just makes sense. Like for me, like moving out here to Kawasaki, it's convenient. That's pretty much all I can say. You know, it's nice, it's cheap, it's convenient, it's really close to Tokyo, but that's about it, really. You know, there's nothing really all that remarkable about this area, to be honest. And I kind of feel bad, you know, because I do IRL streaming and stuff like that out here as well. I'm just like, I mean, there's a couple little things, you know, you just kind of walk around. There's like parks and stuff, but you know, it's not really much to remark about. It's just a little commuter town close by to Tokyo, and the rent's really cheap, so you know. Whereas, you know, with Shonan, the rent's even cheaper, but it is further away from Tokyo and stuff. Move to Akiba. Nah, fuck that shit, bro. That's that would just make my shit worse, you know, because it's way expensive. I actually considered it a long time ago. But yeah, the rent's just like outrageous out there. But yeah, I'd just rather just be chilling at the beach, you know. Especially as I've gotten older too. You know, when I was younger, I liked the allure of the big city and just all the different things to do. But old man Andy Sands getting tired now, and he wants to just chill out. And you know, I really do enjoy my time down in yeah, teach him them egos. Nice. I feel that Japan opening back up brings more opportunities for YouTube. Yeah, actually, I do. You know, because the thing is, you know, I've been on YouTube for a long ass time, so I've been kind of following the. I haven't read that, but I have watched the little OVA that they put out long ass time ago. But yeah, getting back to the YouTube thing. So, you know, I've been following the expat community for a while through YouTube and things like that. And, you know, it's kind of the same old story of, well, if you want to get work out here in Japan, you got to teach the English to the kids. Or, you know, and as technology progressed, like the other career path aside from just being Joe Blow English teacher was working in IT as well. So that's another field. But now that YouTube has really opened things up, and just, you know, social media in general, not just YouTube, it's really opened up a lot of different opportunities for people. And I've been very, very blessed and thankful to have capitalized on those opportunities. You know, I've done a lot of stuff that most people haven't really done out here in Japan. So, you know, I'm very grateful and appreciative for that. And like Eric said, just need the visa. So, you know, there are some companies don't support it. Some do. It just, you know, case by case basis. You just gotta see what's all out there. But you know, there's just a lot of different ways to make it work. But if you do go outside of the tried and true path of either English teaching or IT stuff, it's not impossible. Far from it. It's actually very possible. But you do got to put in a lot more legwork as well. Yeah, America's like one of the only countries that doesn't get a working holiday visa for whatever. But yeah, the business visa, that's another thing as well. You know, my friend Zach, Phoenix 787, I don't know if he's still on a business visa technically, but I guess he might be. I don't know. I don't talk to him about that stuff, but you know, that's what he was able to do post graduation. Obviously, I'm not in his circumstance, so I don't have it like he does. But you know, like I said, there's more than one way to live out here. You know. Yeah, exactly. You know, just I think things start to really open up. You know, if you do have a Japanese spouse, and that's something else I noticed as well. Like a lot of these people, you know, they're working kind of these sort of outside of the box sort of things, and you're just kind of looking at them like, well, how the hell are you staying here? Well, I got a wife. She's Japanese. We talk to each other sometimes. I give her boyfriend a high five, you know. Yeah, basically. So, if you get that J-wife, it's makes a lot of things easier in terms of paperwork and other stuff. But if it's just you and your heathen gaijin ass, then it's a little more difficile. But it's not impossible, you know. And that's something that I want to, you know, put out more on YouTube. And I think I've done a fair bit of it, just talking about freelance and Baito type stuff. And you know, I've talked with some others who are kind of in positions that either want to be in or have been in. So, you know, it's not impossible, guys. You just have to have a marketable skill set, know how to market it, and network your fucking nutsack off. Your network is your net worth. And I will say that. I will die on this fucking hill. I don't care. Your network is your net worth. So, if you don't have a strong enough network, you ain't gonna last very far. Especially in Japan. Now, if you're in America, whatever, obviously, good network helps. It's not gonna hurt any having a good, solid network. But in Japan, it's especially needed. You know, because it opens up a lot of doors and makes things like infinitely easier. You know, so and that's something else I noticed. It's not, you know, it's like you're only going at like 2 speeds. You're either just like slowly putzing around, trying to get a good answer for something, or you're just like going light speed through fucking everything. You know, and it's crazy. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me, Ray. I completely forgot to mention DoD contracting. So that's another thing I was looking into as well before I graduated. Because there are some jobs open in like Yokosuka and Atsugi and some other nearby military bases as well. But it's a very long and tedious process. So it takes a while to get any sort of job offer from them. So I have put in, you know, my applications and stuff out there for that, but you know, it's not going to be an immediate thing, is what I'm saying. People think it's going to be like an immediate, well, you're a veteran and you were stationed in Yokosuka, so easy day, right? So that could be a good long-term play. It just depends what it is. But yeah, if I can get the base job, I mean, I ain't gonna clean them boats. Fuck that shit. But you know, even if I work at the fucking commissary or whatever, you know, that still allows me to stay in Japan. And I mean, hell, one of the guys I graduated with, he got a job on base, and he just basically works at like a, I don't know if it's like a daycare or some sort of stuff with kids, um, and some kind of like recreational person, whatever, making not good money, but he is making money, and especially it's in USD, so it's probably a lot better now. Hell yeah, brother! Fucking work at Taco Bell over there. Hell yeah! And plus, you get paid in USD, so even if you're working for peanuts USD wise, living in Japan, pretty good, you know. And even if inflation calms the fuck down, it's always good to get paid dollars versus yen. So if you can help it, good on you. Cheers, brubbies. So, yes, sir. But yeah, with this, unless it's 2008, yeah. 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 Alrighty. So, I think it's getting closer to time for me to get ready for this this interview coming up, and I also got to do I got to pick up my new visa as well afterwards, and get some food. Probably not Taco Bell, but anyway, guys, I just want to thank you all for tuning in to this rambly live stream. It feels good to be back on the YouTubes and making stuff. You know, it feels good to talk with you about these sorts of things. You know, it's very hard for me to talk about it because, you know, of stuff, but you know, I think I made the right choice in talking about it on here. And for those of you just tuning in, there is going to be a more not really concise, but just more organized. Yeah, no worries, man. There is going to be a more organized version of this on YouTube that I'll record later, just talking about stuff. So this is like the rambly version, but the organized version is going to be coming out very soon. So be on the lookout for that and some other stuff. But with all that said, guys, this is Andy. Sign up for now, and as always, forever, we'll see you next time. Catch you later, guys. Bye.